The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this morning for this coffee session. We're going to give it I see that people are still signing in and logging in. See, they are streaming in by the numbers. So I'm going to give it just 2 more minutes, just for some of the people that had to grab a quick coffee or had to just run an errand quickly just to join us. Give it about 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, and if you hear my voice again, we will then start. If you haven't grabbed your coffee, please do so. I've got mine, and hopefully you have a wonderful session with us today. See you in 2 minutes. Great. I am back this morning. Thank you so much for everybody that joined a minute or 2 late. Welcome. Thank you so much, everybody, for taking some time with us to join us within this coffee break session. I hope everybody can see my screen. There is a space where you can add some questions. So if there are any difficulties, please let us know. And we would then start off the session for this morning. Hope your coffee is already. Sit back, nice, relax, and enjoy the session with us. So Sage Payroll Professional Coffee Break. My name is Rudolf Mare. I'm a payroll and HR account manager with Sage. Been within the industry and Sage for 11 years. And I oversee some of the medium to medium enterprise payroll and HR software products that we've got within our product stack. So welcome to the 3-part series for Payroll Professional, and I'm really glad to see some old regular faces that we've seen in the past, as well as some pastel clients joining us today, and I see also there are some new clients that is not yet part of the Sage family. Hope we can change that and make this a reality for you as in the future. So our agenda for today, I think we're going to start with why Sage, then also why Cloud, and then introduce you to why Sage Payroll Cloud Professional as your preferred supplier within your business. Afterwards, we're going to have a Q&A, and just before we end off, we are going to have a small poll running. I think there's just 1 or 2 questions, maybe just 1. It's just for us to get to know who you are, where you phone from, and if you would like some more information, or for us to make contact with you to supply you with the correct information, costing, and maybe do a proper demo, and also maybe giving you the ability to go and try the system out for a little bit. So why Sage? If we look at Sage's footprint throughout Africa, we are entrusted by more than 64,000 payroll customers. This is companies that use our software, and not just users. So it's more than 64,000 companies throughout the whole of Africa. And we're really proud to say that our software is used to process more than 12 million payslips per month throughout South Africa alone. We've got more than 30 years experience within the payroll and HR solution industry, providing really rock solid systems to our clients. And we provide also payroll solutions in 44 out of the 54 African countries, which is 80% of the African countries that we supply payroll or tax legislation within our systems. And we service more than 70% of the market here in South Africa alone. In the past, our existing users have trusted us to deliver desktop payroll solutions or legacy payroll solutions for many years. And if you've joined the call as an existing customer or as a new customer, I think now is the time to continue trusting us to help you migrate or come on board our new cloud solutions. And we've got a very seamless and effortless road to bring you on to our Sage Cloud Professional system. Before we continue, I really just want to touch on day-to-day challenges that we face as companies and as employees. And as we know, in the last few months, maybe the past couple of 2-3 years, it's been a period of huge change where there's been big challenges, a lot of firefighting, and stepping up in HR was key for a lot of companies. So the payroll and HR is no stranger to change, and we all know that. They've been grappling with rapidly evolving way of work for years. And with the COVID-19 crisis, which was really one of the big motivation factors for the birth of a massive cloud drive at Sage, it's been testing times and presenting payroll and HR with the new unforeseen challenges. And we had to accelerate with some new exciting ones. These are not things that's going to change. It's going to keep on evolving. And if we look at what you see on the screen, I want to just focus on a couple of the areas, especially enabling a connected and productive remote workforce. So moving many employees to remote or workers overnight wasn't easy, and we all know that. And organizations had to make sure that these employees are supported, that they're connected, and that they stay productive, which requires really different strategies than before. We need to have effective communication strategies. Within our organization, we had to rethink how we communicate with a remote workforce, and regularly and with tailored, personalized, and authentic communications. This becomes vital, especially to keep your employees engaged, working from home, working off-site, working remotely at clients. And how do we keep these employees engaged? So as we all know, working remotely, employees had, they've got some, they come face to face with sudden changes. Maybe they have childcare or other caring responsibilities that they have within their lives. Perhaps they have a family member that was affected by what has happened within the past. A lot of people might be worrying about financial issues, but at Sage, we've reiterated that well-known expression today is, you're not working from home, you are at home, and you're trying to work in the midst of all the changes and everything that's going on globally. So that was one of the key factors that started a big birth for a massive cloud drive that we had. So how do we deal with absences? How do we scale up and down within our organization? How do we keep people accurately and responsible for their work? How do we manage the workforce's well-being within this environment? And how do we react to a regular change within the organization? And overall, HR leaders have been at the center of this organization's rapid changes, and we had to respond to some of these crises, some of these changes, and they played a central role in keeping this workforce engaged, productive, as well as resilient. So how do we go about that within our software? So Within Sage, we've got a very wide range of cloud products. The concept to us may seem fairly new, but it's been tried and tested with a small period in time where we've migrated a huge amount of existing clients and also brought on new customers from different other service providers. That has been tested. And I think the beautiful thing is because within the product stack, there's not only just one product, it depends on the requirements, the needs, according to your organization itself. So within the cloud product range, it sits within accounting as well as payroll. We've introduced from an accounting perspective a product called Intact, which is a beautiful system that has recently also been launched in South Africa as well as globally. Payroll Professional, which we are going to touch on today and basically lay a platform with why Sage Business Cloud Payroll Professional is the product. There's other products as well as in that stack. However, we also do offer, if cloud, for example, from a connectivity perspective is something that is not necessarily a reality for you, we do also offer cloud connected on-premise solutions where your on-premise solution can be put into a cloud connected or a hosting environment. A great and beautiful thing that we've done at Sage is also to introduce a marketplace applications. So we've partnered with a lot of industry leaders or industry specific specialists, what we call ISVs. It's an independent software vendor. And within this marketplace, these software vendors can also supply third-party applications to your business. So if the core of your specific product, let's talk about Sage Payroll Professional today, is not within that scope or within that range that you need, we do have a lot of partners, and these are just highlighting some of them, but there are over 100 partners or ISV partners that can supply from learner management systems to time and attendance up to business intelligence and BI tools, integrating into third-party solutions, workflow tools that comes in really handy. And what we also have the ability to do in some of our products is through API connections, etc., and artificial intelligence from a support perspective to start making the journey within Sage, depending on which product you are in, a reality to look into a one-stop shop again for all of your systems. So why cloud? Ultimately, most companies seek to achieve with cloud is to de-risk their business. This can be really summed up in 4 components. And these 4 components is enhanced security, always up to date, backup and disaster recovery, and better collaboration. From an enhanced security perspective, we live in a world where data is at risk. Going cloud really ensures that valuable and sensitive information or data no longer needs to be stored on employees' laptops or users' laptops or tablets or phones. Instead, it's securely accessed over the internet, stored in secured service. And we're also proud to announce that we have achieved, or we have successfully been certified as an ISO 27001 supplier, which is the highest international standard measuring good security services or security practices rather, and is a testament to our dedication of safeguarding your data. If we're looking at always up to date, as a desktop client, depending on the service provider that you're currently with, you are fully aware that you always need to make sure that you're running on the most current version, that you're up to date with the legislation and the version that the system is running. We also know that payroll administrators is usually, that's not your only focus. And it can be overwhelming task to always make sure that data is accurate, that information is on the latest update. So with cloud, you can be rest assured that you would always be on the latest version, always be on the latest update. The update's automatically loaded, and the system is always on the right version for you to keep on processing. If we look at backup and disaster recovery, with our data stored in the cloud, you are not subject to the typical threats of, let's say, fire, flooding, theft, loss of a computer or a laptop, and you have ease of use to recovery in this access. So we had an incident not long ago. I was actually part of this discussion where we had a legacy system VIP Premier desktop client where his laptop got stolen out of his car, and unfortunately these things do happen within our country. So luckily this specific client had a not too old backup, although it wasn't 2 months, I'll just say that, but it wasn't a too old backup. They could restore the system. He had to recapture 2 or 3 months, get back onto par where he needs to be, and luckily in time for this specific customer, they were in time to still pay their employees. However, I think it was a day or two afterwards, Sage was contacted by this customer. We went through a proposal and a demonstration of our cloud products, and they moved their system into the cloud. And that's the reason, because we don't want other people or other customers to go through the similar experience. If we also look at better collaboration, Sage did a study where approximately 80% of our customers has moved to a hybrid way of work, believe it or not. And it's been a welcomed, let's call it a welcomed solution that people have gone on to Sage Payroll Professional in this way of work, because we really saw that being remote, being able to access your system from anywhere at any time, it really allowed that workforce to be more mobile and also more responsible. Nobody had to wait for anything because you're off site or because you're on leave. You can access the system at any point, at any time. And we also know that there are multiple key stakeholders when it comes to Sage Payroll Professional, to payroll and HR. So whether it be a colleague that runs on it, whether it be a colleague that needs to access certain information, whether it be management or auditors, or even your consultant that needs to assist you with a query or a support issue that you're having. Having that ability for these stakeholders to log onto a cloud platform, again, with the correct permissions and restrictions provided by yourself and set up by yourself as an organization, this is really easily achieved by going cloud. And I really hope that these points resonate with you, as it's done with so many of our other desktop clients that has taken that leap to really move into our cloud family. So Sage Business Cloud Payroll Professional. Our Sage Business Cloud really delivers the simplicity and ease of use. It's a simple migration process for existing customers as well as new clients, because we've done it before. It's been tried, it's been tested, and to move your data across securely and accurately, with existing clients having a similar look and feel, but also for new clients coming on board, the transfer of knowledge as part of the implementation process. It's something that we've successfully done for hundreds, maybe possibly thousands of clients in the past couple of years. Your system can be accessed from anywhere at any time, as long as you're online. You can even do it on your mobile. And there's also a self-service feature, which we'll discuss briefly, which empowers employees to view their payslips, to apply for specific leave transactions, to do specific claims if you've got that within your organization, and even go as far as to help them to update personal details within the system itself. For us, quite key for the past 30 years, and that was mainly our focus, is to always be compliant. Automated updates ensure that you're always compliant with local legislation, with legal reporting, and making sure that not just from a legislation perspective, but that you are on the correct version and that you have the correct security updates with your system in place that is pushed through our cloud operations team. It is really reliable, it is secure, and it's really easy to use. And we've backed ourselves in this product with years of experience within the payroll industry. And I think from a reporting perspective, it gives you great insight into your own business, to having the ability to have very strong reports and manage your payroll, not just from a reactive perspective, but maybe to anticipate change within the organization from some of the reports that you might be able to get. If we are going to look a bit further, the next question you'd probably ask yourself, how secure is my data in the cloud? On the far right-hand side, you'll see that there's a screenshot from all your backups that you would have within your organization. And at any point in time, you can retrieve a backup that you've done or that was made through the system to maybe roll back and print history information. No more copy companies or copy systems sitting on your desktop or on your server. And all our software is hosted by Amazon Web Services, AWS, locally in South Africa. And your payroll is also backed up by our cloud operations team daily. And the data is stored in 2 alternative locations, which really accommodates multiple points of failure. So from a data recovery perspective, that's a very strong point within our SLA again with Amazon Web Services. And this allows us to have the ability to also give you that power. So if you make a user-instructed backup, these backups are based on the following timelines. An ad hoc daily backup that you made will be backed up for 1 month. Monthly and weekly backups, so before you roll over your payroll, will be kept for 2 years. And tax and year-end backups will be kept for 5 years. All payroll data is encrypted. We've done extensive security tests and pen tests that has done and being completed within the environment. And as mentioned before, we are also proud to announce that we are ISO 27001 certified, which is one of the highest standards for software security globally. So just a quick overview. What is Sage Business Cloud Payroll Professional? So it's really a true and native cloud payroll solution that is hosted in a secure Sage environment through AWS. It's a single instance, but a multi-tenant architecture. So you can have a single instance and you can have multiple other client accounts or user accounts within that architecture. So it's not everybody can see everybody's data. You would sign in and you only have access to the information or the company details that is relevant to your organization. The specific target market that this product has been launched for or designed for is the medium market within South Africa, as well as some of the wider Africa regions, which we mentioned earlier about the 44 active countries that we support out of the 54. And the solution offers a seamless migration for existing desktop users. Some of the people on the call might be familiar with Sage VIP Premier and Classic. However, if you are a new client looking to come on board our cloud professional system, we also have done, as mentioned before, hundreds of new implementations where it's easy for us to bring on your existing fixed as well as year-to-date financials into the system itself. If we look at the core modules that the system contains, we've got your salaries and your wages, which is basically your core. So that'll allow you to process your monthly, as well as weekly and fortnightly pay structures within your organization. We tie that in with leave, which is an addition. So all of the modules, maybe let me just say that up front, all your modules, the system is completely modulated. So according to your need, according to your requirements, and according to your needs within the organization, we will then compile costing for the software license according to your specific requirements. However, there are something, once we get in contact with you afterwards, there's also what we call bundled costing. So certain modules can run concurrent with the other to maybe reduce cost for you at the end of the day. So leave, self-explanatory. There's general ledger module where we set up your payroll journal, your GL, so that you can export according to your cost codes, your cost centers, and your account codes in your ERP, or your finance system, so that you can export that GL and you don't have to manually go and create that payroll journal on your finance side. Job costing, if you've got a very intricate way of costing employees' salaries, maybe there's different rates for different employees, it's a beautiful module to work with. If you offer loans, we can do loans within the system itself. But also, we've also kept and even enhanced some of the HR and IR capabilities within the system. So personnel management would give you that ease of use to have some IR transactions, whether it be memberships and affiliations, whether it be disciplinary hearings with all supporting documentation and the incidents and the specific case of that disciplinary hearing. Have the ability to print out that written warning, have the employee sign it and attach it back onto the transaction. OID, if somebody gets injured on duty, medical checkups, if you do health and safety or medical checkups on an annual basis. We can even go as far as to have items issued. If you issue your staff with PPE gear or safety gear or firearms, maybe chairs and laptops and access cards and 3G cards, maybe overalls and uniforms. We can keep track of all those specific transactions per employee, per transaction, and also have signed acceptance of these items that needs to be returned on termination of employment for that specific employee. And then we tie that also in, if needed, with skills and equity, where we can define a specific goal within your equity range and keep track of that movement of the equity within your organization, having the ability to then print out your EA2 and your EA4 reports to submit to the Department of Labor. Within skills, if you're part of a specific CETA, what's also really great is we'll be able to give you that power to create a WSP, and you can also print your CETA reports with your Excel training plan and your WSP that you've submitted. And we can tie a lot of this in with automation and seamless processes through Sage Self-Service. So Sage Self-Service would give your employees the ability to apply for leave, to apply for any claim, to view their pay slips, to make changes to their personal details. And I think something that we've got right, or I believe something that we've got right within this, is the ability to have this on a mobile app. So your employee can download a iOS or on an Android device, the self-service app. They will sync it with their profile from the web service, put in their new details, protect it with their permissions and their restrictions, and then have that ability to kind of incorporate that into and communicate with you as an organization. So the system's also protected by multi-factor authentication or a two-factor authentication. That's something also that we've recently launched from a security perspective. This is really just to show you that there's no more hassles with backups and updates. The system pushes through a mandatory update. You'll just click update now. And this is just a new look and feel that we've introduced for some of you that's existing users. You'll be kind of familiar with this, but we've enhanced live chat and support options, drill down buttons and icons that you can drill down into the system itself, and also have that ability to have access to all the modules, specific modules within the organization. Just lastly, before we go to a Q&A session, this is just a screenshot that I've captured for you from the Sage Self-Service, where managers can approve specific leave, transactions, or travel and claims, but the employees can log this, post it to management, goes through to payroll and HR, and it is then automatically updated within your system. They can have a look at their view balances, their pay slips, and also managers can see what's on for today within their specific teams, what birthdays they are, which employees are on leave. It's a really nice way of managers having access to information from within the system without having to ask someone that has access to the system and wait for that specific information. So I know that we've got a really short session today. For us, this was really important to lay a quick platform to help you understand why Sage has gone the route of a cloud drive and why we have gone to the route of designing a payroll and HR system. And I will now open up the floor for a Q&A. So if there's any questions that anybody has, please go onto your question section, post us the question, and I will answer it live here on the session for us. And afterwards, we're just going to do a quick poll where if you want some more information, you can more than welcome to put in your information and we will contact you back. So any questions, I'm going to give a minute or two just for questions. just before we launch the poll. I see that there is a question coming through. Give it a couple of seconds. We did see some questions coming through, but it seems like they're not being sent or published. Maybe, hopefully, luckily, because there's no questions, maybe we answered everything for now with the information that we were about to that we just shared. So maybe let's jump, just for the sake of time. Everybody's coffee is probably also finished. So we're going to now launch a quick poll. Please, for everybody still on the call, just put in the details if you want onto the poll. After the poll is finished, I'll be notified, and then we can end the session for today. And we really encourage you, get in contact with your existing account manager or the account manager that has invited you to the session. Make sure that you are getting in contact with us, and the poll is now open, so you can have a look at giving us your details. Great. We see the poll is doing really great in terms of responses. And I think that's everybody that entered their details. Thank you so much for giving us your information through the polls. Thank you so much for joining us in the session today. We really appreciate your time. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it gave you a good platform in terms of what we do as an organization from a cloud perspective, and how Sage Payroll Professional can be the right product for you, and choose Sage as your preferred supplier for your solution. I hope you have a wonderful day and enjoy the rest of the week. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you.